Well, good morning, Kent City Baptist. Hope all is well. We are going to play the opposite game. You ready? If I say good, you would say bad. If I said hot, you would say, well, Michigan. You got it. If I said winning, you would say Detroit sports teams. Boom, roasted. Or Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs last night. Boom, roasted. I know, that's painful. But the reason why we're playing the opposite game is because opposites help us to think sometimes. And so I wondered, we just started the Sermon on the Mount. We just started talking about the Beatitudes, what blessing looks like, what a life of following Jesus really does look like. And so I wondered, how might the opposites of the Beatitudes help us to think even more about a life following Jesus? And so I'm going to share with you today a quick guide. I wrote it down. A quick guide on how you can be miserable on this cold Michigan Monday morning. You ready? Here it is. If you'd like to be miserable, here's your list. Miserable are those who think they don't need God. They will not see the kingdom of heaven. Miserable are those who are proud of their sin. They don't confess it and mourn over it. No. They, in fact, encourage others in it. They flaunt it. They will never be comforted. Miserable are those who have impulsive outbursts. They do not control themselves, what it looks like to be meek. No, they just react. They will not inherit the earth. They'll be miserable. Yeah. Miserable are those who have an insatiable hunger and thirst for wickedness and unrighteousness and the things of the flesh. They will never be satisfied. That's a terrifying thought. Miserable are the vindictive, the get-evens, the grudge holders. They will never receive mercy from God or from others. Miserable are those with defiled and impure hearts. They meditate on evil. They will never see God. They will never behold God. Miserable are those who don't make peace. No. Miserable are those who stir up strife. They will never be called sons and daughters of God. Miserable are those who are never persecuted because they don't pursue righteousness. They won't see the kingdom of heaven. And lastly, miserable are you when nobody ever says anything bad about you because you don't stand for the things of God. You don't look any different. Be miserable and be sad, for you have no reward for this. Those are the miserables. Those are the opposite of the Beatitudes. Now I wonder, maybe, just maybe, Jesus came to save us and to transform our lives, to transform our very hearts from misery to joy. Maybe he did. Could it be that he came to give us a whole new way of living in his kingdom that is unlike any other? If you notice, most people in the world are pretty miserable. If you ever walk around a grocery store and you see people's eyes, they're furrowed, they look irritated, they look grumpy, they look discontent. Most people live that way. I don't think Jesus wants us to live that way. And so, if you're a Christian, I want you to read Matthew chapter 5, verses 2 through 12 today, the actual Beatitudes, not the ones I just read. And ask God to make these ever more present in your life. In other words, stop being miserable. Stop it. You belong to Jesus now, and this is the way of his kingdom. This is the character of a true Christian. It's found right here in the Beatitudes. Now, if you're not a Christian and you're watching this, first of all, thanks for watching my video. But more importantly, you can choose to be miserable. You can stay right where you are. You can let bitterness grow deep in your heart. You can hold grudges. You can stir up strife everywhere. You can live that way if you choose. Sure. Or you can turn to the Lord, the one true God, and you can find joy forevermore in the kingdom of his beloved Son. You can be called his son or his daughter. And so, which will you choose? I hope you do not have a miserable Monday.